Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I'm struggling. Well, not really struggling, but after all expenses and everything that's a necessities paid, I have about $2,000 left a month, and I just don't know where it's going. It seems like I just spend it. Like
so on paper, if you did what the paper said on what you spent, you'd have $2,000. But you're saying it's disappearing; it's being spent.
Yes.
Do you want to know what this is? This is a classic case. You do what is called the treat yourself budget, which is I budget for all of the things that are like necessities. Like I budget for my rent, my car payment, my groceries, a couple of, my cell phone bill, but everything else is up for grabs and you treat yourself. And then next thing you know, you're like, where did the money go? So does that sound about right?
Yeah, that does sound about right.
Yeah.
Like if you go to your bank account statement will tell you, right? If you go to your bank account statement and you add up all the things that weren't the necessary expenses, it would easily tell you what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say are the top 3 things this money's disappearing to? Eating out? Are you sports betting? Gas station snacks?
Definitely gas station.
Okay, I just guessed all 3
here,
perfectly.
A little there. What? You know what? I find that gas station snacks is a big thing. Like that seems to be a high ticket item here. I don't know what it is, but
I don't go in there. I'm too nervous.
I don't go in the gas station to get food. There's 2 things that just shouldn't go together. I don't know, but anyway.
Do you have any other vices?
Not judging you.
Are you like dip something that you're spending? Vapes? I don't know.
No, I mean I buy truck parts and different things. I mean I dabble here and there spending.
You single?
I buy usually. No, I got a girlfriend.
Oh, well, that might be where some of it's going, I would think. Here's what I think you need to do. Okay, so I used to budget just like that. I was definitely the treat yourself budgeter who wanted to use the rest on, like, it's up for grabs. That's the way I felt about it.
You ate your vegetables. All right, you can get some dessert.
But the truth is, when you treat your money like that, you'll look up 10 years from now and there's a lot of regret because you go, oh my gosh, so much money passed through my hands and I was not a good steward of it. As a matter of fact, for most people, think about it. If during your working years, most people work 40 years, let's say you just make an average of $50,000 a year. That's over $2 million that's going to pass through your hands. And if you take this portion of it and you just go, it's up for grabs, I don't know what happened to it, you can't really call yourself a good steward of your money. And chances are you won't be prepared when the time comes to retire or buy a house or any of those things that, we want to do to feel the success of our finances. So what I would suggest is a zero-based budget, which is a form of budgeting that utilizes every single penny. And I just want to kind of clear up because a lot of people feel like budgets are kind of restraining, right, Hayden? And I have a feeling that you feel that way. Like you feel like a budget is something that's going to keep you from doing the things you want to do, when really it's the exact opposite. Because if you were to do a zero-based budget, you'd not only be planning for those things like rent and car payments and keeping the lights on, but you'd also go through and say, wow, I have $1,900 of margin. What is it that I want to do? Do I need to have $1,000 of savings? Do I need to build up a 3 to 6 months emergency fund? Is there debt I need to pay off? And if you've already accounted for those things, then you can say, okay, yeah, I want to spend a little bit on hunting and I want to spend a little bit on, I don't know, Wawa snacks. And so that's the beauty of this, is you get to decide. So let George and I help you decide. Do you have any debt?
I have a truck payment and then a boat payment.
Okay. How much do you owe on the truck?
Around $34,000.
And how much do you owe on the boat?
Around $12,000.
Okay. So that right there is a good indicator of what you should be using that margin for.
What do you make a year?
Last year I brought in around $80,000, but this year I'm working full time and doing college, so it's dropped about 10, 15.
So you're making about $65,000?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay. Man, you got a lot tied up in wheels and motors going down in value to be making $65,000.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about selling these 2 items and getting something cheaper?
Well, the truck is what I use to make the money every day. I drive for work. I do like hot shot.
Can you get a cheaper truck to do this with? I don't think it's a $34,000 truck causing this.
Yeah, I probably could.
I mean, if you had a $15,000 truck that was running great, could you do the same work and get paid the same?
Yeah.
Okay. That tells me the truck was for you, and yes, you do use it for work, but you can also get a cheaper truck, get out of this debt, free up more margin, and I imagine you don't have a lot of time to be on the boat when you're working and a full-time student.
Yeah, I do plan on selling the boat this upcoming spring.
What can you get for it?
Oh, probably around 15,
Okay.
14, 15.
Okay, so that's another maybe $2,000, $1,500 that you could put towards this debt. What George and I are getting at is, and this is what Dave Ramsey would say, your biggest wealth building tool is your income, right? And so good for you that you have $2,000 of margin every month. Bad for you that you have this debt, because what are your payments on the truck and the boat combined?
Around $1,300. I could refinance them, but I've just decided to try and pay it off.
Yeah,
quicker.
I think that's good. But think about if you had that $1,300 back in your wallet plus the $2,000. That's a lot of money. And so if we can get these things sold or paid off, that's really where you're going to see the ultimate potential with that money. And then we'd be saying things like, hey, with this margin, you could be investing 15%. And hey, you could be doing, do you see what I'm saying?
Save up a down payment.
Well, my only problem with that is like my parents, which I just turned 20, and they're more like, don't sell the truck. The insurance is going to blah, blah, blah.
They're wrong. Hey,
keep it and pay it off.
If you have a paid off vehicle, your insurance is going to be lower. If you have a used paid off vehicle, your insurance is likely going to be lower than if you had something that's newer with payments. That's the truth.
That's what I thought, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Are they making the $1,300 payments for you every month?
No.
They don't get a say in you getting rid of that payment because you're the one who has to pay it.
Uh-huh. Hey, the truth is with parents, like they have the best of intentions, but sometimes they only know what they know. And so a lot of times it's like they do it one way, so they pass that way on to you. And even though it's a good intention, it's not necessarily the right answer or the best way to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I think from where you're sitting, you can just be like, okay, thanks. That's when you just do the smile and nod and you're like, oh, okay. And then you go into your life and you do the thing that you know how to do in your own life.
You can be kind and respectful.
That's right.
Do you have any money in savings, Hayden?
My parents got around $30,000 for me. I had a problem with my arm and surgery, so I got
a settlement?
A settlement coming in soon.
Okay.
And that'll be in your name. You said your parents have it for you.
Yeah. No, it'll be in my name.
Okay. Man, that'll set you up for sure.
Yeah. So if George and I were in your shoes, yeah, that $30,000, I'd keep it aside. Let's call that, if you're selling this boat and if you're selling the truck or deciding to keep the truck.
That's an emergency fund plus some moving out money plus some down payment money.
Yeah.
That sets you up, man.
Yeah. I would definitely downsize this truck. I would not pay it off with what you're earning and what your life is. I'd downsize it. Yeah. This is The Ramsey Show.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.